But you look at the recent behavior of Trump, and you look at we talked about Trump sneakers, Trump cologne. You look at him in the night of South Carolina, the utter humiliation that he delivered to Lindsey Graham, who just stood there. Maybe there's something. Maybe Lindsey enjoys being humiliated or beaten like that. There might be something darker going on in there that I don't know about. And at every level, there's fraud, there's lying, there's stealing, there's anything that you can think of. And, our people are not so stupid that we would pay $400 for a pair of Biden sneakers or Biden cologne. And thank God he's not a person that would even remotely think of doing that. But if you assume that everything about Trump does is part of a giant fraud, you would be correct. So today we're going to do a little background stuff and things that I hear and maybe answer the biggest question that I get from people. And that is, James, why can't we be more like them? They really get out there. They say things, they repeat them, they attack. Our friend Sidney Blumenthal told us Abraham Lincoln was a very good lawyer. He had a case before a jury, and he wanted them to arrive at the same conclusion that he had, or his client had. And he told the story of a farmer who had two kids, Hannah and Joshua. And Hannah was like 15 and Joshua was 12. Joshua comes running into his dad and says, "Dad, I was just in the hayloft and I saw Hannah and Andrew had their pants down, and I think they were taking a pee." And the daddy said, "Son, you got the right evidence with the wrong conclusion." Okay, so the conclusion is what's important. So think of things that they do that we would never even dream of doing. All right, let's start in South Carolina because, well, that's where a lot of bad shit starts. C. Fort Sumter. Nancy Mace, who said, and I have every reason to think she's telling the truth, and telling the story that she was raped when she was a younger woman. That can't horrible thing to even consider that anyone would have to go through. But that she was endorsing Trump, who a jury found, frankly, raped a woman. In the words of the judge, in everyday parlance, what this jury found is that Trump raped her. And then, of course, defamed her and is going to be paying all of this. But that wouldn't make any sense to us to be for a rapist. It's just, are we too much of the mommy party? Are we too weak? We don't like rape. We think it's wrong. We think it's criminal. We think it's disqualifying. All right, particularly in someone who, despite all the evidence to the contrary, says, "Oh, I thought that was my wife." Oh, Jesus. All right. Then, suppose that, so 20% of the registered voters in this country think that Taylor Swift rigged the Super Bowl with Roger Goodell to help Joe Biden. So if it's 20% of the country, that's got to be 35, 40% of the Republicans. You realize that you sit on an airplane. The person sitting next to you, it's a 1 in 5 chances that they think Taylor Swift rigged the Super Bowl. Do you realize that? Do you realize if I said something like that or some other Democrat said that, you'd say, "Man, that guy's out of his fucking mind. What's he talking about?" Yet, think of that for a second. Suppose that I said the earth is 6,000 years old, that all geological evidence to the contrary, I think that the finger of God created this thing in 6 days and rested on the seventh. We would think I lost my mind. That's half of their party. You can't be more. What are you going to do? Be in the middle and say, well, some people say it's 6,000 years old. Some people say it's 3 billion years old. Maybe it's 100 and who knows? It's so idiotic. All right. If I was a climate denier, do you think that you would go along with that? Or you'd say, I can't do that. All right. If President Biden said, I'm sending my granddaughter to run the DNC, and she's going to take all of the money that comes in and put it in Hunter Biden's defense fund. And he said, yeah, but we need to be more like the RNC. You want to be like that? That thieving operation? I mean, there's a lot of things that the DNC could do, a lot of things I think they could do better. I'm not suggesting that, but the stuff that they do, let me tell you, when they say Democrat that for book burning, that's when I'm going to get worried. Why are all the book burners, why are they all Trump types? Can I be for burning a couple of books, maybe? Maybe we should do be like a professional centrist and say, well, they want to burn 1,000 books. You should be willing to burn 300. No, it doesn't fucking work like that. It doesn't work like that. And we just can't do it like that. So there's one thing that we can do that they do is we can have consistency and ruthless implementation of a message. Now, I want to tell you where I'm coming from on this. All right. How many people in the United States think that the Democrats want to defund the police? You know how many congressional Democrats actually want to defund the police? Maybe there are 3 that would say that they would like to orient some of the money on public safety to mental health. Or maybe somebody actually does. It's like one of them. Do you know how many House Republicans favor legislation that would make the Alabama Supreme Court in vitro fertilization the law of the land? Over half. No one knows that. No one knows that. 150 House Republicans. Jump on their ass right now. Just right now. And let them come back. Do you realize that if they take power, you got to understand this, they're not just going to get in your bedroom. They're not just going to overturn any kind of sexual stuff they have. They're going to get right in there and tell you everything that you can do and you can't do. They would burn half the books in the libraries in this country if they get one iota of a chance to do it. And we ought to just hit them ruthlessly on this. And don't fall into their fucking traps and stuff. This and we need to change. No, we don't need to be more like them. We need to be more dislike them, and we need to be more dislike or unlike them than we even are now. And I understand you try not to look down on people. I think there's been a mistake that a lot of national Democrats have made. But, if you believe the earth is 6,000 years old, frankly, I think you're stupid. Well, think of this. Suppose it would have been Democrats that would have stormed the Capitol. Suppose it had been black people. Well, if it had been black people, they would have shot them all, because we already know that. Do you think that we would say this is a tourist visit? That these people are political prisoners? Or would we correctly say these people are criminals? Right? Their party not only accepts criminality, they glorify it. And you don't even get started on the Trump. The black folks identify with him because he's been arrested and he's being prosecuted for trying to stop black people's vote from being counted by a black woman and a majority black staff and a black DA in Manhattan. I mean, it's all so fucking insane that you have to back off, look at it. You got to learn to, we got to pick some specific targets and hit those really hard. And let me tell you, this Alabama ruling, the whole women's reproductive rights thing is fertile ground. Make them pay. Make them pay. All right. That's what they want. They vote down the line every time. And you're going to see some of them saying, Glenn Youngkin shit. Trump wants 16 weeks, I'll point it to people on the Supreme Court. And you know what's going to happen when Trump wins? I'm going to tell you if he wins, or hopefully he doesn't. The only thing I can stop him. They're going to give the keys over to the Christian nationalists. They are already setting up in the Heritage Foundation. They're already telling you what they're going to do, and the book burning and the rights restriction, and them getting in your bedroom and your body and your classroom and your library is going to be accelerated to the nth degree. So, it's the old saying, if they don't stop lying about me, I'm going to start telling the truth about them. We haven't begun to tell the truth about them. We just haven't begun. And fear not, I'm working on my postcard program because a lot of people are excited about this. I just want to see what's in place or what there is that we can come into, and we need to set up a separate operation. But what you can do yourself is talk to your neighbors. When you see politicians or you see something, say, how can you be for people that are trying to get pregnant in vitro fertilization, but science is coming together to create wonderful lives of people, or people, a woman is raped and you don't want her. And that, by the way, that's what Mace was making this eloquent defense of a rape exception for abortion in South Carolina. Okay, fine. Then you endorse a rapist. It makes utterly no sense to me. So, and they do, like, the Louisiana legislature with the governor, they're so crazy, they're now passing a law for open carry in the French Quarter. I think that's so, if a lot of you probably at one time or another in your life been in the French Quarter. Do you really want people walking around with guns on their hips at 3:30 in the morning? I don't think that's a very good idea. I don't think that, maybe the professional center can say, can be, well, Simi, maybe you just got to expose the handle here. Or maybe you, James, you could limit it to 8 shots in a clip. No, it's fucking stupid. Stupid on its face. There's no middle ground for people packing heat in the French Quarter. But, we got this professional central class that, in an effort to see both sides of everything, are completely blind to what's going on in the world. Mike Johnson, I don't want to be in the same party as that guy. I don't want to be close to the same party he's in. I think he's crazy. And I think he ought to stay right where he is and let him go with his young earthism, with writing briefs to get in everybody's bedroom and watch your porn habits and all the crazy shit that they want to do. And Paul Pressler, a renowned child molester. I don't want to be with you, man. I don't want to be I don't want to be on your team. If I see you, I will be nice to you. I might even ask how your kids are, but I don't want to be you. I don't want any part of you. None. You understand? Which you far, if it's not evil, it's so colossally stupid. Hold on. Hey, I'm going to call you back in 10 minutes. I'm just in the middle of something. I'm going to call you up. So the question is, why don't we do what they do? Because if we did, it wouldn't be us. Definitionally, it would be something else. But the one thing that we can do is we can be more ruthless. We can go on the attack early. I wish that I read this money about how much money they're raising and how much they have. I wish they would jump on their ass right now. Right now. You think that the Alabama Supreme Court was radical? Just look at what a majority of the House Republicans want. And they're going to do this. All right? They told us that they would overturn Roe. We didn't believe them. Well, they did. And, and so they're going to come after birth control. They are. Will the press and say, oh, well, that's a little extreme. I mean, James, you can't. Yes, I can. Look at what they're saying. Look at what 150 House Republicans have signed on to. Look at the positions that they're taking, and then arrive at this conclusion. We have the evidence in front of us, and the conclusion is these people are some are well-meaning idiots, and others are highly tolerant of criminal behavior. That's about the spectrum over there. And to the extent that some people might be considering voting for Trump because of other reasons, there are some. That's why our campaign of mockery is so important. And that's why we have to focus on all of the radical, crazy ass shit that they are and that they will do. And we have to keep pushing that home. So I want you to think about all of the crazy crap that they have come up with and how we pay so much a bigger penalty for some naive stuff that no one is for. That's really not part of it. If you go back and look at the Republican platform on abortion, there's no Democratic platform that says we defund the police, or you use stupid words like Latinx, I don't know, shit they talking about. But stand by. We'll be back. But remember, we don't want to be like you. We don't want to be in the same political party you're in. We really don't want to hang out with you. We don't, to say this very bluntly to you, I don't respect your views. I really don't. I don't think that we disagree. I don't think I disagree with Mike Johnson. He believes this. I think I'm the same person. I think he's out of his goddamn mind. And more than that, I think he believes in this crap. I think he thinks that Earth is 6,000 years old as much as I think it's the craziest, most cockamamie bullshit thing I ever heard in my life. But I don't want to be you. I don't want to be in the same party you're in. I don't want to be rude to you, but I don't want to have any fucking thing to do with Mike Johnson. Thank you.